The Legend of the Kuntilanak, a folktale. Long ago, in a small village on the outskirts of a vast forest in Java, lived a beautiful young woman. She was known far and wide for her kindness and beauty, and she was loved by everyone in the village. But her heart belonged to a young man, a humble farmer. They were deeply in love, and soon, the village was abuzz with news of their wedding. The day of the wedding was a grand celebration. Villagers danced and sang, filling the air with joy and laughter. This young woman and man were the picture of happiness, and their future seemed bright. But as night fell and the village returned to its peaceful state, a dark cloud began to loom over their lives. Not long after their marriage, the young woman became pregnant. The entire village rejoiced, eagerly awaiting the arrival of the child. But as her pregnancy progressed, the young woman grew weaker. She began to have strange, terrifying dreams of a shadowy figure visiting her at night, whispering her name. She never told anyone, fearing they would worry. One stormy night, as her labor pains began, the village midwife rushed to her side. The winds howled outside, and thunder rumbled through the skies. But something was not right. Hours passed, and her cries of pain filled the air. Despite the midwife's best efforts, the young woman could not survive the birth. She died, leaving behind a stillborn child and a grieving husband. The young man was heartbroken. He blamed himself, believing that he had somehow failed to protect his wife. Stricken with sorrow, he buried his wife in the village graveyard, under a large banyan tree near the edge of the forest. But the young woman's spirit did not rest. Weeks after her death, strange things began happening in the village. People claimed to hear a woman's soft laughter on the wind at night. Some said they saw a beautiful woman dressed in white, her long hair flowing down her back, wandering near the banyan tree. She seemed to be searching for something, or someone. One evening, a group of villagers returning from the field saw her clearly. The woman, with her back turned to them, stood under the tree, her white dress glowing in the moonlight. They called out to her, thinking it was a lost traveler. But when she turned around, they were struck with horror. Her face was pale, her eyes dark and hollow, and her mouth twisted into an eerie smile. They fled in terror, realizing they had seen the ghost of the young woman. The villagers soon learned that her spirit had become a kuntilanak, a vengeful ghost of a woman who died during childbirth. It was said that the kuntilanak would seek revenge on those who had wronged her, or worse, take the lives of men and children to fill the void of her lost child. Terrified, the villagers approached the village elder for advice. The elder, a wise man who had lived many years, told them that her spirit was filled with sorrow and anger. Her death had been unnatural, and her grief over her lost child had turned her into a kuntilanak. He warned the villagers to avoid the banyan tree after dark, for it was now cursed. The kuntilanak would appear as a beautiful woman to lure men into the forest, only to reveal her monstrous form and drain the life from them. Women, too, were not safe, for she envied those who could bear children, taking their lives out of jealousy.